Chapter 1: The Arrival, Facing the Unknown. The documentary opens with the jarring sounds of a maximum security prison, a relentless clang of metal doors, echoing footsteps, and distant shouts, creating an atmosphere of palpable tension. Listeners are introduced to Marcus, a first-time offender whose wide eyes reveal both fear and confusion as he steps into this unforgiving world. Through intimate diary entries, Marcus contemplates his new reality, reflecting on the stark contrast between his life before incarceration and the desolate environment surrounding him. He describes the dawning prison hierarchy, where unspoken rules govern interactions and survival becomes a daily challenge. With each entry, Marcus's vulnerability is laid bare, showcasing his struggle to adapt while yearning for connection and understanding. This chapter sets the stage for his emotional journey, inviting listeners to empathize with his plight as he navigates the shadows of incarceration, searching for a flicker of hope amidst the bleakness. Chapter 2: Cracking the Shell, a Glimpse of Vulnerability. As the heavy metal doors of the prison clank shut behind him, Marcus wrestles with a torrent of emotions. His diary entries reveal the profound culture shock: stark, fluorescent lights, the echo of distant voices, and a pervasive sense of apprehension. Memories of his life before prison flood his thoughts, his family, the simple joys of daily life, and the crime that brought him here. With each passing moment, he feels the weight of judgment from hardened inmates. He's acutely aware of his naivete in this ruthless environment. Yet, it is within this turmoil that Marcus begins to confront his vulnerability, laying bare his insecurities and fears on paper. He writes of his longing for acceptance and connection, crafting a lifeline of words that tether him to his humanity. The echoing clamor of prison life serves as a somber backdrop for his introspective journey, hinting at the resilience that lies beneath the surface. Chapter 3: Forging Connections, a Blossoming Brotherhood. As Marcus navigates the intimidating landscape of the prison, he encounters Lena and Sammy, two inmates who soon become his unlikely allies. Their first interactions are tentative, marked by shared glances and cautious words. Lighthearted banter quickly breaks the ice, igniting a spark of camaraderie within the oppressive walls. Lena's warmth contrasts Marcus's shyness. She often shares snippets of her life as a nurse, revealing her vulnerable side and the passion that once drove her. Sammy, a street artist, brings laughter with his witty observations and anecdotes about life on the outside. Through their conversations, Marcus finds solace, discovering that he's not alone in his fears. It's in these moments of vulnerability that a bond of brotherhood starts to take shape, reminding them all that human connection can flourish even in the bleakest of settings. Together, they begin to share their hopes, forming the foundation of a resilient support system. Chapter 4: The Stories We Carry, Sharing Histories. In the dim light of the cell block, the warmth of newfound friendship fosters an atmosphere ripe for sharing. Lena sits cross-legged on her bunk, her voice trembling slightly as she recounts the tragic events that led to her incarceration. Once a devoted nurse, she describes the fateful night of passion and betrayal that shattered her life, evoking feelings of deep remorse and longing for forgiveness. Sammy, always the street artist, shares his own tale of survival, growing up in a broken home, desperately seeking validation through his art, but finding himself on a path of theft and heartache instead. As he reveals the sketches that adorn the margins of his journal, his eyes light up with hope, a stark contrast to the despair of his surroundings. Through their shared stories, listeners feel the weight of dreams deferred and the spark of understanding that binds them, each carrying their past like a heavy backpack, yet yearning for release. Chapter 5: The Stories We Carry, Sharing Histories. As the days pass, the bonds between Marcus, Lena, and Sammy deepen, creating a safe haven for sharing their pasts. In hushed tones, they unveil the stories that led them to this maximum security prison. Lena recounts her heartbreaking tale of loss, the moment her passion turned into a crime of desperation, leaving her grappling with guilt and longing for her estranged family. Sammy, with a painted smile, shares the struggles of a street artist misunderstood, driven to theft to support his dreams of recognition and success. Marcus listens intently, reflecting on his own choices that spiraled into incarceration. The warmth of their conversations contrasts sharply with the cold prison walls, creating an atmosphere of vulnerability and understanding. Through their shared histories, they discover solace and camaraderie, illustrating that even in confinement, the power of storytelling can illuminate paths to healing and connection. Chapter 6: Choices Made, a Moral Crossroads. As tension escalates in the cell block, Marcus finds himself trapped between instinct and loyalty. The oppressive atmosphere thickens, and the air crackles with anticipation as rival gangs clamor for dominance. During an explosive confrontation, violence erupts, sending inmates scrambling and shouting, creating a chaotic symphony of fear. In the midst of the turmoil, Marcus eyes his friends, Lena and Sammy, caught in the fray. He faces a gut-wrenching decision. Should he protect himself and blend into the chaos, or stand firm to defend his newfound friends? The brutal reality of prison life becomes eerily clear. Loyalty comes at a high cost. The sounds of fists hitting flesh reverberate around him, and Marcus feels the weight of uncertainty pressing down. In that moment, the seeds of his character are sown. Will he rise to the occasion or become another casualty of the prison's unforgiving code? The choice bears heavy on his conscience, echoing long beyond the last blow. Chapter 7: Art as Salvation, Discovering Creativity. As tensions reach a boiling point within the prison walls, hope arrives in an unexpected form. Evelyn, a compassionate art therapy volunteer. Her introduction to the inmates breathes fresh air into the stifling environment. With a soothing voice, she invites Marcus, Lena, and Sammy to channel their emotions through creativity. Amid the starkness of the prison, colorful paints and blank canvases become symbols of liberation and expression. The group gathers in a dimly lit room, the sound of paintbrushes gliding across paper harmonizing with faint echoes of the prison's routine. With each stroke, Marcus translates his fears into sketches, while Lena pours her heart into poetry, reflecting on lost love. Sammy's vibrant murals bloom, depicting resilience against a backdrop of confinement. As they create, laughter and shared vulnerability fill the air, marking the beginning of their transformative journey, a testament to the redemptive power of art in a world behind bars. Chapter 8: Expressions of the Soul, Creating Together. As the days pass in the prison, a vibrant energy fills the air when Evelyn, the art therapy volunteer, arrives with supplies and infectious enthusiasm. Marcus, Lena, and Sammy gather in a small, sunlit room, their makeshift studio amidst the cold steel of the prison. With each brushstroke and pencil line, they pour their emotions onto canvases and paper, capturing their struggles, dreams, and heartaches. Lena crafts poetry that dances around themes of love and loss, while Sammy brings the walls to life with his murals, each telling a story that resonates within the confines of their existence. Marcus, hesitant at first, begins sketching his thoughts, raw and unfiltered. The trio creates a sanctuary of creativity, where laughter replaces despair and hope ignites solidarity. In these moments, art becomes their voice, a powerful testament to their humanity and resilience, shattering the darkness that surrounds them. Chapter 9: Rebuilding Dreams, Hope on the Horizon. As the prison clock ticks down to their release dates, a palpable tension hangs in the air, blending anxiety with an undercurrent of hope. Lena sits on her bunk, the fading light illuminating her face as she writes a heartfelt letter to her estranged family, yearning for reconciliation and forgiveness. Her diary entries reflect a deep sense of longing, a desire to embrace the warmth of familial love once again. Meanwhile, Sammy spends hours sketching new mural ideas, envisioning exhibitions that showcase his artistic growth. Each stroke of his pencil is a promise of better days ahead, symbolizing his dreams beyond the prison walls. Marcus, grappling with the weight of his past mistakes, contemplates how to forge a new path. In poignant conversations shared beneath the flickering fluorescent lights, they inspire each other, sharing hopes that stretch far beyond incarceration, each one echoing the belief that redemption is possible. Chapter 10: The Weight of the Past, Confronting Regrets. As their release dates loom closer, Marcus, Lena, and Sammy find themselves grappling with the shadows of their pasts. The sound of prison life fades into a backdrop of reflective silence, punctuated by the occasional clatter of guards' footsteps. Each inmate takes a moment in solitude, journaling their thoughts amidst the torrent of emotions. Marcus writes about the burden of guilt from decisions that altered his life's path. The echoes of Lena's laughter, now entwined with memories of her family, plays in her mind, fueling her desire for reconciliation. Meanwhile, Sammy sketches an empty canvas, his fears about acceptance and the stigma of his past haunting his creativity. In this crucible of introspection, they confront their regrets, realizing that acknowledging their mistakes is the first step toward redemption and healing. Despite the weight of their struggles, a flicker of hope emerges as they begin to envision a future unshackled from the past. Chapter 11. The Day of Release. Mixed Emotions. The day of release begins with the oppressive clang of metal gates echoing through the prison, a sound that resonates with both fear and exhilaration. As Marcus, Lena, and Sammy await their turn to step beyond the bars, anxiety weaves through their excitement. Diary entries reveal their tumultuous emotions. Marcus writes about the surreal feeling of freedom mingled with dread, voicing concerns about the outside world's judgment. Lena, her heart racing, reflects on reunions and the fragile bond with her family, while Sammy dreams of showcasing his art but fears an unforgiving society. The ambient sounds of clattering footsteps, shouts of freedom from fellow inmates, and the distant hum of traffic form a stark contrast to the life they've known. As they walk toward the exit, a poignant silence envelops them, a moment suspended in time, filled with uncertainty yet bursting with hope, as they prepare to reclaim their lives in a world that feels both familiar and foreign. Chapter 12. The Sounds of Freedom. First Steps Outside. The day of release dawns with a surprising blend of emotions. The sharp clang of prison gates opening signals a new beginning. As Marcus, Lena, and Sammy step into the sunlight, the world feels both familiar and foreign. The sounds of freedom envelop them, the distant laughter of children playing, birds chirping, and the hum of city life, each noise a reminder of what they have missed. Diary entries reveal the whirlwind of thoughts racing through their minds. Overwhelming joy tempered with trepidation, dreams of a fresh start interlaced with fears of rejection. As they take their first steps on the pavement, they pause, absorbing the moment. The weight of their past lingers, but the air is filled with possibility. Together they forge ahead, united in their resolve to redefine their futures and pursue the hope that life beyond the bars can hold. In this pivotal moment, the echoes of their prison experiences fade into the backdrop of their newfound freedom. Chapter 13. Navigating Society. The Challenges Ahead. As the echoes of freedom fade, Marcus, Lena, and Sammy step into a world that feels both familiar and alien. The sounds of bustling traffic and distant conversations clash with the silence that enveloped them in prison. Each grapples with the daunting reality of reintegration. Marcus struggles to find a job, constantly confronted by his criminal record. Lena faces the anxiety of reaching out to her estranged family, fearful of rejection, yet yearning for connection. Sammy walks the streets where he once thrived, now feeling like an outsider with no canvas to express himself. In interviews, the three share their experiences of navigating societal judgment, the stigma of incarceration, and the yearning for acceptance. The warmth of community support whirls around them, yet the lingering shadows of doubt threaten to pull them back into despair. The journey is fraught with challenges, but each day brings moments of resilience, commitment, and the unwavering hope that change is possible.